Hey guys, welcome in. Before we get started, only about 40% of the people who watch our videos are actually subscribed to the page. So if you can do me a favor and subscribe, hit the like button. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the correct way to leverage financing when selling home improvement products. Now, I work with a lot of salespeople all around the country, and a lot of homeowners these days are kind of leery of financing. So when we're bringing this thing up right off the bat, you have to keep in mind that it's one of the most powerful sales tools that we have when you're selling large ticket items. If you're the type of person who sells something that is always going to be somewhere in or above the 5-figure price range, 67% of Americans cannot afford an unexpected $500 bill. But a lot of folks used to tell me, we don't like financing. So these are people who fall into that group, and it was challenging because if you think about why people don't like financing, it's usually because they don't like paying interest on something. So you got to ask yourself, is there any scenario where somebody can avoid paying interest on a product if they don't have the cash readily available? And that's always the issue that we run into. People are like, listen, we're just getting ideas for this. We're not going to do this project for about a year. So I'm like, hey, no problem. Anytime somebody objects to you in that way, you always have to meet them with deference. Yeah, hey, no problem, guys. If you're a year out, I completely understand. If you're interested, I think there's a way where we can actually get you the product that you want at the best price, which is the current price, but we can still get it paid off on your schedule, and we might not even have to pay interest at all. Is that something you guys be open to? So right off the bat, when we get into financial terms, this is going to come after you deliver your initial price. So in this little scenario, let's just say I deliver a price. I'm selling a shower, and the overall investment is $15,675. I'd be like, all right, guys, we can get this entire project done. It's only $15,675. And I slide the number over to them. And then I sit quietly and I wait for their response. Now, some people are going to give you a positive response, right? So they come back and they're like, yeah, it's about what we thought it would be. Or, hey, that's not so bad. And that's great because I go, yeah, it's not so bad, right? Right in your wheelhouse. Now, even when you guys decided to pull the trigger on this project, how would you handle an investment like this? Is this something you've been saving up for? Or like most of our clients, would you want to see some options to break it down monthly? So I use social proof right there. Like most of our clients, they go, I don't know, we'd probably be open to some finance options. That'd be great. Well, since I'm here anyway, let me show you a couple of our most popular options. And that way you guys can determine what works best for you. This is where we're going to lay out 3 different options. And in order to figure out which options to lay out and really how much we as the dealer have to spend on this financing, because we always have to account for merchant fees from these dealers. They charge us to use their plans. I want to establish a deposit first and foremost so that I can understand exactly how much of this total investment we are borrowing from the lender.
Hold on, closers. Are you ready to stop losing deals to the same tired old objections? At Grosso University, we've created this free closer's guide just for you, which is a proven step-by-step framework to overcome any objection in the home improvement industry. This is the exact system used by top producers in the game, closing at over 70% plus, including record-breaking selling streaks such as 40 sales in a row. Inside, you'll learn how to get to the true emotional root origin of every objection, crush resistance with confidence, and close like an absolute professional. The best part is, this framework will teach you how to become a tenacious one-call closer without building any pressure whatsoever. Don't leave money on the table. Download your free closer's guide now and start turning objections into opportunities. As always at Grosso University, yes, you are a closer, and back to the video.
So I'd be like, well, guys, one of the benefits of using a third-party lender like we use all the time would be instead of putting half your money up front, or if you stroke a check for this, you got to put half down, or you got to put a third down, depending on your company. These guys only ask for a 10 to 20% deposit. So in this case, if we're talking about a total investment of just over 15, 10% would be $1,500. If you could swing a larger deposit, 20% would be around $3,000. Which option is most comfortable for you? So now what I've done is I've put that prospect in a position where they have 3 choices: 10%, 20%, or neither. If they choose one, great. We subtract that from the total. We know exactly what the loan is going to be. If they say neither, I go, well, that's no problem. What would be a comfortable deposit? Would it be easier if we put 5% down? In this case, $750. That's yes or no. If no, I'd be like, why don't you tell me what a comfortable deposit is? We can make almost anything work. Dan, we could do $500 down. Whatever they say, I compliment. I go, $500 down is a perfect deposit for this. We take $500 off. We're at 15, whatever I said, 250 now. So that's the total loan that we're going to be breaking down. So here are 3 different options. First option is going to be a short-term, no interest, no payment option. Something like a 6 to 12-month option. We often call these bridge loans. So I'd ask the homeowner, based on the balance, that $15,250, is that something that you guys think you could pay off comfortably in 1 year, or would that put some pressure on you? Is that something you could pay off in 1 year, or would that put some pressure on you? And usually they're going to come back and it's either yes or no. If they can pay it off in a year, if they go, yeah, we could do that, I'd be like, oh, you guys are going to love this. We have a 12-month same as cash plan. So hypothetically, you guys could put down the $500. We could take out a loan for the balance. But we can have 12 months from the date of installation to pay it off at your leisure with no interest attached to it. If that's comfortable, all I need is your driver's license, and if you wanted to do the deposit with a check or a credit card, whatever's most comfortable, we'll get this thing started. And I stick my hand out to assume the sale. If they come back when I ask that question about, is it comfortable in 12 months, and they go, no, that'll put some pressure on us. We're talking about, what is that, $1,200 a month? That's pretty steep. And I'd be like, yeah, I don't talk to a lot of people who could pay off that size project in a year. Well, here's another option. This is more popular for projects of your size and scope. This is a 60-month term, all right? So they break it down. I take the total and divide it by the payment factor, and this is going to be on your rate sheet. So whatever your lender is, if it's Green Sky Financial, we look at Green Sky's rate sheet, and it will tell you the payment factor, which is 2%, let's say. We take 2% of the balance, so $15,250. 2% of that, you're going to be roughly $300. Guys, what if we could get you around $300 a month? Would that be comfortable for you? If they say yes, I'd be like, great, all we need is your driver's license. We'll run this thing, we'll see what they tell us. No problem. Easy peasy, made it affordable. Sometimes the last question's here. Well, it depends. What's the APR? And this is where we start getting into a finance conversation where you have to be very nuanced about the way you deliver information. So what is a good APR? Just ask yourself. When I was growing up, actually up until about 3.5, 4 years ago, a good interest rate was like 3 to 5% in that range, because the prime rate was 3% back then. Prime rate is what determines what lenders are able to give you as rates, And right now, the prime rate is 6.75% as of the date of this recording, which today is January 20th, 2026. So the prime rate's 6 3/4. We're going to be delivering interest rates on these plans that are higher than that, because these lenders are in the business of making money. It's a financial institution. They're not your friend. They're not doing it for fun. So a lot of the rates that we're delivering right now are like 9.9%, 8.9, 9.9, 10.9, something around there. And the average homeowner who doesn't know how financing works looks at an APR like that and goes, oh, that's so high. 10%, I'm not paying 10% on that. This is why we have to differentiate on the type of loans that we use. So home improvement loans through Green Sky or Service Finance or Synchrony or any of these other ones out there, they are unsecured loans, meaning that they're uncollateralized debt. You're not borrowing against the equity in your home. If you default on this, you're not going to lose your house. It's unsecured, so it's a much safer way to borrow money. They are also fixed rate, fixed term loans. So if we get 9.9, it's 9.9% simple interest across the term of the loan. So if your minimum monthly comes out to $300 a month, every extra dollar you put towards that goes towards principal. This is not like revolving credit where the credit's all front loaded, or like a mortgage where it's all amortized, where you're paying off interest before you pay off principal. It is simple interest, fixed rate, fixed term, and there is no penalty for paying it off early. So I like to show people the flexibility, the control they have, and we're mitigating all the risk. You're not borrowing against equity, because you might be able to afford the monthly investment right now, but what happens if, you take on this debt and then all of a sudden somebody in the family gets sick or has an accident or heaven forbid dies, or somebody loses their job, or you have another unexpected expense somewhere and you can't pay for this. If this is secured against your home, you're screwed. You're SOL, you're going to lose your house. In this case, if you default on this loan, your credit's going to take a hit, like defaulting on any debt, but you're not going to lose your home. That's the beauty of this. And it gives you the flexibility of prepayment penalty, which also allows you later on, if you can get a better loan at a better interest rate, let's say 2 years from now, the prime rate comes down and it's 5%. You can pull out a home equity line of credit if you want to, or any other line of credit where you have a better APR, and you can pay this loan off. There's no penalty for doing that. But the benefit of leveraging financing this way is that we can get the project taken care of now while the prices are the lowest they will ever be. In the home improvement industry, prices go in one direction, straight up. So this also helps you solve for the homeowner who says, I never take out any loans because I won't pay interest. I go, no problem. How long is it going to take you guys to save up 15 grand? It'll take us 2 years. All right. So 2 years from now, we're going to come back out here and this is what you want. And they go, yeah, this is the system we want. We'll call you back when we got the cash. Awesome. So just so you guys know, in the home improvement industry, the prices tend to go up between 0.75% and 1.5% every month. Across the last 20 years, you can go back in time and see this increase. It's actually increased ever since COVID. But over the next 2 years, you're paying minimum 9% APR on this. That's the lowest APR you're going to be paying because you're paying interest through what's called inflation. So I come back 2 years from now, take this project, add anywhere from 18 to all the way up to 30-some% on this based on what we've seen year over year. 36%. So what if, just what if, we can get you set up where you get it now, get the best bang for your buck on this, and we can offset some of the interest over that time. We can take care of you either at 0% or at a low fixed rate with no prepayment penalty. And the last benefit to this, guys, is that a lot of the products that you sell are actually permanent maintenance-free solutions. So there is a return on the investment, okay? So as they do this, you're going to get ROI in equity in the house. Their house is worth more when you upgrade it. You've solved a problem that they're dealing with. So now you've stopped the decomposition of their home. You've kind of stopped the bleeding, which means that problem is either getting better or it's getting worse. We're making sure it gets better. So their investment is appreciating over the next 2 years as they pay down the interest. And I always want to justify interest with people just based on increase in property value. Be like, what was your house worth 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? What's it worth today? We can actually show them the percentage at which their home appreciates over time based on history. And then I can use that increased value to offset the interest rate over the next 2 years, or the next 5 years, or however long it's going to take to pay it off. At which point, once it's paid off, they're making money. So we've solved the problem. We've reallocated funds to put them from their checking account or their savings account, since they do have to pay for this thing, into their home. We are using other people's money, right, so that we can keep their assets liquid and we can make sure that we are mitigating all the risk. And as their home appreciates in value, their increase in wealth is offsetting the interest they're paying, at which point they will pay this off and then they're just making money. So you've solved a problem. You made it simple for them to buy it. It doesn't hurt nearly as bad. And the thing that you sold them is permanent and maintenance free, so it's going to pay for itself and make the money over time. This is the easiest way to get homeowners to buy something on an initial visit consultation without putting either emotional or financial pressure on them. Just keep in mind, as I said at the beginning of this video, 67% of people cannot afford an unexpected $500 bill. So you make very complicated, expensive projects feasible for them. If the 1 year term or the 5 year term don't work for them, we can go out as far as up to 20 years for some of these lenders that we work with. So I would show people a 1 year, a 5 year, and then usually a 7 year option. Break down the monthly investment, just ask them which one's most comfortable for you. If they choose one, assume the sale. If they say none of those work, we want to isolate what the problem is. Is it the deposit that's too much, or is it the monthly? If it's the monthly, I'd be like, what kind of monthly are you looking for? Tell me your range. I don't want to put you guys in a spot where you're cracking your noodle packs in half. What's it going to take to get this right into your price range? Well, Dan, we can only do it if it's $150 a month or less. Well, let's see if I got a plan for you. I feel like we have a plan for everybody. Yeah, we got one that's great. Same APR, but it's $180 months with no prepayment penalty. That drops the monthly all the way down to $126 a month, and you pay it off at your leisure. Sound good? Welcome to the family. I told you that was the easy part. I just need your driver's license and we'll get this started. So there's a bunch of ways to leverage financing. We do a deep dive on this at Grosso University in our 2-week Sales Academy Masterclass program. If you're interested in learning more about it, go ahead and DM us or leave a comment on this video and we will reach out to you directly. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to learn more, get in touch with us. From all of us here at Grosso University, yes, you are a closer.